It's showtime.
We have such sights to show you.
Hello, Fright fans. Welcome to another episode of the Big Monster Briefing Room. I am your host, General Lemuel T. Howitzer. Although I'm not wearing my hat, I am wearing my smoking jacket, my Vincent Price smoking jacket for this show because we're doing a classic, House of Wax, a Vincent Price classic. I even put some spray paint on my sideburns, so I already have the mustache. So there it is. So let me bring up my able-bodied assistants. We're going to talk about this. Major Hazzard and Sergeant Major Havoc.
You're so excited. You can't even remember your co-host's name. You're like all in Vincent Price mode right now.
It's both H names. And there's Major in there, both of you. So, there's a little bit of a problem with that. I'm starting to get like Trump. I'm getting a little cognitive decline.
I totally understand. It's early onset. It could happen to any of us. It's all right.
General, it's Master
I'm not
Sergeant.
age yet, though.
It's Master Sergeant Havoc.
Yes, it's Master Sergeant Major Havoc.
Yeah. Now, Major is my first name.
Correct.
Which was why people get all confused, thinking that that's my rank, but it ain't. It's just my name.
I'm glad you clarified that for us again.
It's a little confusing, to be honest with you, but I'm learning. I'm learning a little bit at a time.
She's
Well,
learning.
As long as you're learning.
I'm learning it. Don't worry about that. I'm learning it.
And we are actually seeing Hazzard for this
I know
show.
it. I'm in the lab right now. You can see this beautiful.
Oh my God!
Wow, she's in the lab, and that's
for the first time in like months.
I've been doing all kinds of stuff with these secret specimens, and they're like a little slimy and gooey specimens. Oh my gosh, they're so loud, But the thing is, so if you hear a little like little punctuations in the atmosphere, just know that I've got some specimens. We're doing some studies on it. That's all I'm really allowed to tell you guys. But later on, I'll give you an update. I'll be able to tell you details farther down the road. It's all about keeping the American public safe, as you both know. We are the last defense, and we are working day and night to keep everybody safe.
You're the first defense. Aren't we?
The first and the last and the in-between defense.
The first, yeah, we're the first.
The only defense, really. We're the only defense.
We're the only defense. Yeah. Who are you going to call?
We're the Ghostbusters. Where's my little proton pack? What is that thing called anyways?
Yeah, yep.
I'm sure you've got one of those lying around somewhere.
I've got it lying around somewhere. Don't worry about that.
If they get their hands on them, who wouldn't, right?
Well, yep. As long as you're doing nothing, like against nature, or you're creating some kind of trying to make some kind of super race in your lab there, I guess.
What are you implying, Master Sergeant? Like, why would I? What about me gives you that appearance that I would do something like that? I mean, come on, I'm from NASA. I got degrees from all over the world. I'm a professional. We're on the same team here, Master Sergeant.
You put your foot in it that time.
I would never do anything like that. And if I did, I would lie about it. So either way, I wouldn't be copping to nothing. You know what I mean? I'm from Yonkers. We don't cop to nothing.
Well, see that's the thing. You North. Oh my God, I can't talk. New York people.
Now, folks.
I think I scared him. I think I was the last defense against Master Sergeant Havoc.
And rightfully so. I would be scared too if I was on that end of that.
It's the Mothra dust. It just keeps coming back, and
I love how the general is taking him. He's omitting himself from the equation. He's just pouring his peach.
I'm just pouring my
drink.
drink.
Ready for us.
I've got a new strawberry peach tea here that I'm trying. It's
Oh,
sick.
strawberry. That's gonna
Yeah,
get
it's
you a little
okay.
wilding out. You're gonna wilding out like Nick Cannon.
So what?
Nick
Where did that
Cannon.
go?
He has a show called Wildin' Out. You gotta hang out with the kids in general. You gotta be
No, I
around the
don't.
kids.
No,
Yes,
I don't.
they say Wildin' Out, and it's Nick Cannon, and that's cool stuff from like 15 years ago, I think. I don't know, but that's young to me.
Well, Major,
Just
I
somebody
apologize.
Google it.
Smoking
Somebody
jacket's
somebody
coming
under the
over.
age of 25 will
Because
know
of
what
Nick
I'm
Cannon.
talking about.
Yeah,
Funny you
well,
mentioned Mothra. We're probably going to do that one next week on the show.
Gotta
Next
do
Thursday.
some Mothra.
I would like to mention that we're rolling out a new show with
Yes.
Roland, your boyfriend.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is a
Yeah.
big deal for him. I've been telling you he's a star for all this time. I've been telling everybody. His mother knows it. I know it. He's a star. He's a superstar. He's bigger than everybody. He's bigger. He's like a Hollywood type guy. I keep telling you guys, he's got the BDE,
Well, people seem to like him.
People
So
love him.
there it is. We're
It
giving him
makes
a
me so
shot
jealous.
at this. We have agreed to. He came to me and he came up with a concept for a show called Roland's Kaiju Review, and he wants to do like all the Japanese monster movies, the kaiju movies, and big monster movies too. Stuff like Reptilicus and Konga and things like that. So he wants to do his own show, and he asked me if he could use our timelines. And I said, well, yeah. I mean, we're not doing anything with them. So, yeah, you can use our timelines if you like. So he's going to do his own show now, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, you didn't hear the background to all of this, okay? The background was I kept telling him, and his mother kept telling him every day over coffee. We would say, Roland, you're a big superstar. You got to get your inner confidence back. Look at that Rory Penland. Look at the General. Look at Manny Zamora. All these people, I say you could do the same thing. What? They're not better than you. They're not better than you, Roland. And you know what? One day he said, you know what? I'm really passionate. I said, what's your passion? What's your passion? He said, kaiju and painting.
Godzilla, Rodan.
Right. And I said, you know what? I said, it's time for you to be in the limelight. You deserve it. You've worked your whole life for this point. And his mother was right there. And she said, you know what? It's a strong woman is behind every superstar.
He deserves it.
Yeah. And so he said, I'm going to do it. And that's when he made the call. So I'm very proud of him. He's going to do amazing. Although I'm not really sure about, there's a female co-host. I know that's going to be happening, but I'll be right behind the scenes watching the whole thing. I'll watch the whole thing. She's not very attractive anyway, so it's okay. I think I'm fine.
Okay.
He's not really into bimbos like that, but whatever.
Well, I sincerely hope that she doesn't go on secret assignment all the time.
She's not smart enough, trust me. I know who I'm dealing with here. She's got an IQ about like an ant, but whatever.
Oh, wow.
It's all right.
Okay, so this show, we have a timeline for our movie. And what we do is we go through the movie from beginning to end, and we say what works for it, and what doesn't work for it, that kind of thing. So there's a Warner Brothers picture. Unfortunately, I didn't get the letterbox edition of this movie. It looks like the TV version, I guess. But it's intact. The version that I got is the full movie, including the can dancers, which we will talk about later. House of Wax. Yes. So,
well, I was just going to say something just for 1 minute, just to put in a word for Roland here. You were talking about how in this show, General, we talk about what works for the training films, what doesn't work, And I just want to be honest, Roland is a very positive character by contrast. So his show is going to be all positivity. I mean, he's totally passionate about kaiju and all of this stuff and Godzilla. So you're going to only see a positive, not like we're doing anything wrong, but I'm just saying when it comes to Roland, he's pure passion, pure positivity. So
okay.
Just want to put that in there as a little teaser for all of you fans.
Well, okay. So it starts with the streets of New York back, I guess, before the turn of the century. It's probably late 1800s, my guess. There's horse and carriages around. And we go into a wax museum. And it's a fairly standard wax museum, nothing too creepy. But there's evidently a wax museum around the corner that's got its own kind of dungeon of horrors kind of thing going on. And it's actually causing their business to shrink. People are going around the corner to the other place.
These are so creepy. I don't know if either of y'all have been around this like House of Wax type deal, but they make people who look exactly like the real people. You could be standing in there and you think you're next to Michael Jackson. You'll be hiding your kids and all of that. You could think that
Well,
Bill Cosby's there and you're hiding your women folk. I mean, it's a crazy thing. You know, it's
not
like
back
they
in
could
the
have
late
Jeffrey
1800s.
Epstein
Yeah,
there
I
and you
get
could
what
be
you're
hiding
saying.
everybody. So it's
Funny you
weird.
mentioned Bill Cosby because somebody in this film actually roofies a person. They actually give him a sedative and make him go to sleep so they can kill him.
It's sad that it's not that uncommon. You know, try being a female in this world. I'll tell you, it's not that uncommon.
Okay, so I'm writing names of characters down now because I forgot to do so before the beginning of the show. Damn it! All right, so here we meet Henry Jared, who is a brilliant wax sculptor. He's played by Vincent Price, and his partner Matthew Burke comes in. Matthew Burke's played by Roy Roberts, who later went on to play Darren Stevens' father on Bewitched. And he's a real nasty in this one. He's wanting to talk Jared into burning up the House of Wax because everything's paraffin based. It goes up like a trailer, and make money because they need to make some money and then start over again and make more horrific stuff so that the people will come and pay money. And Henry is aghast. He's like, no, these are my children. You can't burn them up. No, stop it. So that's my Vincent Price impression.
He's very attractive, by the way, and so are you in that smoking jacket. I mean, you guys are both very attractive. Just look at his mustache. He looks amazing.
Sideburns?
Oh, gorgeous. You're so
I hope they
gorgeous.
come
Yeah,
out.
show it again, General. Give us a flash there.
See my Krylon sideburns? I put a little spray paint in my hair. I hope it comes out soon. I know it's probably going to last a little.
You're still.
Don't do that at home, by the way. There's like party stores where you can buy hairspray, colored hairspray. It's a lot easier, comes out a lot easier. I just didn't have any available, so I had to use spray paint. So
just note to the kids, don't try.
I might have sideburns next week.
That's right, kid. Don't try this at home.
If it doesn't comb out, or maybe I'll just spray brown over it. Anyway, so Henry says, no, I have somebody coming in. They're going to invest money and we're going to make it bigger and better. And the guy shows up and he looks around and he's very impressed with Henry's wax figures. He shows them Lincoln and Wilkes Booth, and he shows them his
shows them Joan of Arc. And
yes, that's a very important one in this movie. Joan of Arc and Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette, yep.
Yeah, and they're very impressed with what he shows them. But unfortunately, they're en route to out of the country for 3 months. They won't be back for 3 months, and that's not good for Burke. So Burke is like, hey, let's just set the whole place on fire. Because, he's just a bad man.
Yeah.
He's going to collect the insurance money, and by gosh, he's going to do it right now.
Yeah, he starts
to torch the place. And Henry fights with him. No, you're killing my children. Again, they go up fast, and he knocks Henry Jared out, and when he wakes up, the whole place is ablaze around him, and it's terrible. And he's watching all of his beautiful creations melt, and we keep getting shots of the gas light thing there, and of course the place blows up. There's
just an awful night for him. It's like really just one of those terrible nights.
And we see the very impressive old fire truck, horse-drawn fire truck, come to deal with the problem. But it looks like Henry Jared did make it.
It's just too late. Too little, too late.
So couple months later, we go to a dance, and we meet Kathy Gray, played by Carolyn Jones. If you don't recognize her right there with the blonde hair, kind of picture her with long black hair because she's the original Morticia Addams from the Addams Family TV show.
Oh, that's where we know her from.
Yes, indeed. And this character that she plays is kind of a ditzy blonde, and she's funny. And Carolyn Jones is a good actress. She's a fun actress. And she always really throws herself into her characters. And she is Burke's, well, she's after Burke's money is what it is. She's a gold digger.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I got the check finally from the insurance company. So, they gave me a big hassle because my partner was never found. And so we get that little piece of exposition. So we know that Jared maybe didn't die. So he goes back to his house, and we see this gnarly guy behind the sofa. It's got to be Jared. I mean, what other burn guys are around the neighborhood, So that's a face that only a mother could love. I can tell you that right now.
Thank you, General. I was just champing at the bit behind the scenes
during this show because we show his face a lot.
I was champing at the bit for that one. Thank you.
Yeah, look at that face. So the nose is kind of over and his lip is, yeah, it's a nasty, gnarly looking burned face. So this is before Freddy Krueger. We had House of Wax. So, so he turns out the lights in the office as Burke opens his safe to get the check, and strangles him to death. And then he wraps a big rope around his neck and throws him down the elevator shaft.
It's just awful. It's just terrible.
So this guy is he's over the edge, murderous, nasty right now.
I think he needs to go see a therapist. I think he's got like multiple problems, probably core morbidities there. He's got some real issues.
So the cleaning lady is cleaning up in the building, and she hears him go down there, and she sees him. She freaks out. And then we go to Mrs. Hannigan's boarding house. Yes, Hannigan, the same name of the lady who has a boarding house in Annie.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. But my boyfriend's got a check. Anyway. But now his neck's a wreck. Thank you, folks. I wrote that just now. So we see Carolyn Jones's character Kathy in her bloomers. This movie, by the way, was in 3D at the time. They were experimenting with 3D at the time, and this is one of the movies they experimented with the 3D with it. Beautiful color, by the way, Technicolor film. And this is Sue Allen, who is a sweetheart of a girl, and she is Kathy's friend, and Kathy's letting her stay in her place. But the landlady there, Miss Hannigan, wants money. And she's like, what am I going to do to get money? I don't know. Well, maybe when I get back, I can help you. Again, she's kind of ditzy.
Yeah, it's funny because they're talking about the guy, because she was dating the guy got killed, Maddie. And he's like, and she's all like, yeah, and then he died. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's
so she's going out on another date. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. She's going out on another date. So there's Miss Hannigan telling her, you really need to get another hat. No, she's asking for the rent. She wants the rent. And leg hurt.
Otherwise, I'm going to turn this into an orphanage.
So, she goes to check on Kathy, and Kathy's dead, and the murderer's in the room, and it's the gnarly. That's a face that only a mother could love. There he is. So she sees him, and does what you would normally do if you saw somebody like that in the middle of a room in the dark when your roommate's dead. She screams her head off, and he's like, ah. But she's smart. She jumps out the window. She catches him off guard long enough so she can get out the window. And they hear their scream downstairs. And then there's a long, long, long chase scene in the fog. And again, you get the feeling this is like England or France or something, but it's New York, believe it or not.
Yeah.
New York before the turn of the century. So the man in black comes after her. He's got one of those capes over the shoulder capes.
Yeah.
And,
Kind of reminds.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say it kind of reminds me of that Dark Man fella in that one movie.
Yeah, I guess this was inspiration for that. That's my guess.
I think
Crime
so.
on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she takes her shoes off. Mrs. Hannigan and her husband, I guess, find the dead girl, Kathy. The guy spooks my beans. Thank you, Troy. Cadet Troy is here. Yeah, he's gnarly. He really is. So at that time, if you wanted the police, you couldn't call 911. There were no telephones, I guess. Or those crank ones. Anyway, and that's a pain in the ass. They give you a whistle to whistle for the police. So he whistles for the police. The police come to check out the dead body. And meanwhile, the chase is still going on. She ends up taking her shoes off, actually, because she's clip clopping on the brick streets. What's that?
So that's pretty smart. Most
Look at that.
most of the women get chased. They keep their high heels on, but no, she took them suckers off.
I'm gonna make her say it. Hazzard, what do you think about that face?
Well, it's definitely, you know what he kind of looks like, to be honest with you. He looks a little bit, yes, like Freddy Krueger, but he also looks a little bit like the Elephant Man, like with the lips and everything.
The Elephant Man?
Yeah, like John Merrick. They made him look a little bit like the Elephant Man meets Freddy
I'm
Krueger.
not an animal.
I'm not an animal. Yeah, except for the Elephant Man was like a really pleasant intellectual. This guy is no Elephant Man, I'll tell you that.
I am not an animal. I'm a sculptor.
I'll tell you this. Okay, ladies out there, you know what I'm talking about. You go down to the pub or to the bar, you go to the club, you're doing a little dancing with your girlfriends. What happens? One of these fellas starts trying to follow you home onto the train and everything to get back. It's just everywhere. Guys don't even know.
Would you like to dance?
Exactly. It's just all I did was take his beer. He bought me a beer, I drank the beer. Now I got to go home with him. It's crazy. It's bananas out there.
He bought Kathy Gray a drink and he roofied her so he could strangle her.
That's what I'm saying. It's just crazy.
So when she gets her moment, she has a friend, a guy that she's kind of sweet on, kind of interested in. His name's Scott Andrews. And she runs to his place. And she knocks on the door, and Scott's still in his clothes. It's the middle of the night. He's still in his clothes. Hey, look who showed up. Yeah. But of course, she's hysterical. So he's, okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Sure. Tell me I'm wrong. That's exactly how that scene played out.
Yeah.
So the police chief in the area shows up, and they take the body to the morgue there. The girl, Kathy, poor thing. She's been strangled. And they move her body into, and this scene is, they show, the creepy morgue and everything. And then, hey, look who shows up.
And look what Troy says. He says he looks kind of like Meatwad from Aqua Teen if it was a man instead of a meatball.
Yeah. Kind of does.
All right. I'll go with that.
Yeah, the Meatwad was nice.
He's sporting the mohawk. He's sporting the mohawk way before the mohawk was popular.
Yeah. You looking at me? I'm the only one here. You must be looking at me.
So he goes around and he finds her body. And there she is. She actually looks very unstrangled in that scene, but okay.
Yeah, there's no ligature marks around her neck.
I don't want to split hairs, but yeah. So maybe he just poisoned her, and they said he roofied her. So outside, there's a carriage waiting with two goons dressed just like him, and they take the body. He lowers the body down by the neck. There it is. And they grab it, put it in the wagon, and take off. And, they're stealing bodies. Invasion of body snatchers. At the police station. What does that say on the door? Can you tell me? It
says Lieutenant of Detectives.
Now, you were going to say or, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, because it looks like or, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's why I made you read it, because that's what I read the first time. I was like, what? Make up your mind. Are you a detective?
Lieutenant or detective? Take your pick. No, it says it's just the F is it looks like an or. Yep.
So anyway, I wanted to see if that grabbed you too, the way it did me, and it did.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that detective's office, the chief is talking to Sue Allen, Scott Andrews brought her over there, and his mom. I guess that's his mom.
Played by the lovely Phyllis Kirk.
Yeah, Phyllis Kirk plays Sue Allen. She is lovely. Suitable for wax, suitable for wax Marie Antoinettes. Now the guy that was talking to Henry Jarrett a few months back, he's back from his trip. It's 3 months later, and he comes to this address that was sent to him on a card, and it was from Jarrett. And he says, "Come and see me. I want to talk to you some more. We're working on a new house of wax. We want to talk to you about, helping us fund it." And this is where we meet Charles Buczynski, who's actually Charles Bronson later in his career, as Igor. He plays Igor in this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie is based on an earlier film with Lionel Atwill. And damn it, I said I was going to send you some pictures of this, and I didn't. Called The Mystery of the Wax Museum. Fay Wray was the main actress in it, and Lionel Atwill was the artist, but his name was Igor in the film, the artist. And there's a lot of stuff from this movie that is, amazingly recreated from that film. I mean, a lot. So, they were like getting shot for shot in some cases. So Vincent Price shows his hands and how they're all gnarly now. He can't use them anymore because he's been burned. But amazingly, his face is okay. And we're wondering, how the hell did he do that? Because we just saw him in a couple of scenes strangling people, and he looked gnarly. He's in a wheelchair, wheeling around. So he's not able to move around good. And again, the person that was strangling people was kind of limping around, he wasn't walking normally. There was obviously some damage there. He was kind of skulking and limping. So he is showing this guy the process for which he coats the sculpted figures in wax. He's got a special process, and then he opens up a crate and shows, hey, look at that. It's Burke. This is one of my newest for my Hall of Terrors. This is Burke, Matthew Burke, who was hung a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, that body was also stolen from the morgue. So now, as is the case with movies back in that time, there were intermissions. So you could go out and get some more popcorn or soda or what have you. It was a 10-minute intermission. That's the actual intermission music from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, by the way. All right, so they open up the House of Wax. He's got the funding from the guy. He explains that there are other artists that are making these wax figures under his direction now. Guitar solo. Everybody's coming to the House of Wax because it's got the House of Horrors. And there's a guy out front terrorizing people with those ping pong paddles things. And again, it's 3D, so ping pong's coming right at you. And he's got all kinds of shtick that he's doing. And where ping pong's even going in his mouth. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say with a scalper, like one of those oily scalpers for the tickets and all that. Like,
Barker. He's a Barker, is what he is.
He's a bar. Yeah. He's a carnival barker.
He gets them to come in. Yeah.
Right.
And here we have a wax figure of the girl with constipation.
I got a brassiere just like that. It's uncanny, really.
Does it give you constipation?
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't wear it if it did.
I snapped that picture at the wrong moment. It's actually a hoochie coochie girl with her hips going around. Now, remember, this film came out in 1953, okay? And remember, in the late 60s, they were making Barbara Eden cover her belly button in I Dream of Jeannie on TV. So I can't believe they got away with this. I can't believe they got away with what we're going to show you in a minute. And there he is doing his thing again. Is that what they call those ping pong paddles? Or
yeah, ping pong paddles.
I have a feeling there's another name for them. Anyway.
No, that's just paddle balls. Paddle balls.
Paddle balls. Okay,
Yep.
paddle balls. All right.
Yep.
Maybe that's it. Okay.
Yeah. There's
So he's the paddle ball thing. All right. So now, Henry Jared is showing people through the terrors. He shows them the death of Marat, which was not a suicide, by the way. He was killed by a woman. He shows them the first guy that was killed in a electric chair, and it looks like Charles Bronson. It was sculpted by Igor, and Igor just sculpts himself. He's like Frida Kahlo. He sculpts his own head. But luckily, he looks like the guy. So then they show the rack again. How did they get away with that in the 1950s? Man, there's a lot of body showing there. And how do they get away with that here in the late 1800s? So a woman passes out, and Vincent Price has smelling salts on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, give you some smelling salts? Yes, thank you. We're prepared here.
Yeah, that's just a little funny bit of shtick with this lady. Keeps passing out.
He keeps passing out. Oh.
Yeah.
Her two friends have to pick her up off the floor a couple of times. Oh, by the way, this is my old partner.
We don't know what happened.
How does he get around the fact that that this was his partner in the last place? Wouldn't that make him a little suspect? And I have his wax figure in here. This is a lovely, lovely display. This is my partner who hung himself. And his body was stolen from the morgue. So that's a little suspicious to me. Sorry. So Sue Allen and Scott show up, and they meet the guy that funded the place, and he says, "Oh, I know you're a wonderful sculptor." We find out that Scott is a sculptor, and a good one. So what are the odds? And then Sue sees, damn it,
Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc. Second time I forgot that. Joan of Arc, and of course, it looks just like Kathy Gray, except she's got black hair. She looks like Morticia Addams now. Yeah. Which doesn't happen for another, 12 years.
Yep. Well, maybe that's somebody saw her in this with the black hair. And it's like, hey,
she might be a great Morticia Addams. That might have been what happened. I lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah, she's climbing up on the display. No sign saying, "Hey, don't climb on the waxworks." And Jared wheels his ass around it. Oh, look at this! Yeah, that's not nice. Don't touch the don't touch my wax figures. And of course, Scott and the guy are aghast. Oh my God, she's climbing on the display. So Vincent Price plays it real cool. He's like, "Oh my dear, you just gave me the greatest compliment of my life. She looks so real. She looks just like my murdered friend." Well, I'm good. So. He explains that he saw pictures of her and he thought she was the perfect face for Joan of Arc, and he saw like murder shots, pictures, police photos of her. And she's like, "Well, you even got her pierced ear. It's amazing how you did that." And I'm a stickler for detail, something like that. I paraphrase.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what the dialogue was. I think that was really uncanny how accurate that was.
They don't use the word stickler back in the late 1800s. I'm sorry.
But the voices are amazing. Like I said, you're giving Rory Penland a run for his money.
So, what the hell? What did we just see in that slide?
Oh, he was checking out the guy's hands.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, what lovely hands you have. I used to have lovely hands
those
like
hands.
that.
I wish I had those hands.
Yeah,
Scott's hands are nice hands to Vincent Price, to Henry Jared. Oh, look at those hands. Oh, those chubby little digits.
I'm going to dream about
He's
those
practically drooling on him.
No, it's kind of like that's the real horror of this movie.
So yeah, look at Sue. She's like, okay, it's just gotten weird.
Just made it weird.
You know, that's the thing about Vincent. He always makes it a little bit weird.
The Funder's like, he does that all the time. It's okay. Weird.
Mr. Wallace.
Mr. Walls, is that his name?
Wallace.
Mr. Wallace. Okay. So, and then she realizes that oh no, he's looking at her, and all of a sudden, it's like, those cartoons when they're on like a desert island and they look at the other guy and he turns into like a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
and they want to eat him. That kind of happens here. He looks at Sue, and immediately she turns into his, Marie Antoinette. He's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to kill you and bring you in here."
He's really stimulated right now. You can see that's the face of stimulation.
If my boner wasn't burned, it would be up full staff right now.
If only my hands worked.
But the good thing
After
is,
we saw the hands and Marie Antoinette, he was ready to go.
But if my hand
Totally
job
ready.
myself, I can't feel it. That's the good part. Poor Vincent Price.
I may have to go milk a snake now.
Lots of snake milking going on behind the scenes in this training film.
Or get Igor to do it. That's it, Igor. Double Dutch rudder. So,
the show ain't for kids. This show is not for kids.
The show is not for kids, by the way, folks. Just in case you didn't know, we just don't. It's not. It's not for children. Sue Allen and Scott take off, and crap. What is this now? Is she back home?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. She's going to bed. And the gnarly Jared is swinging over to her room. He's going to strangle her, and he's going to, use her body for Marie Antoinette. Of course, she wakes up. When his shadow passes over, she wakes up. By the way, that face is not Vincent Price. I think that's the stunt guy who swung across. That's Vincent Price. But the other guy wasn't Vincent Price. It was somebody else in the makeup. Okay, so she screams. He's like, oh, damn it. Shit. He doesn't talk in this form, not until later. And then he talks a lot, like too much. Anyway, so when it's all over and he's jumped out the window again, oh, it's okay. Scott's going to take you to a nice show tomorrow. It'll be good. He takes her to the Can-Can dance show. It's the Moulin Rouge of New York. Snake milkers. Yeah. Speaking of snake milkers, this is the show he takes his girlfriend to. Yeah, in 3D, folks. In 3D. There's a vagina for you. Here's a stage full of vaginas for you.
Yeah, she's looking like, yeah.
Yeah, she thought she was uncomfortable in this wax museum yesterday. Oh my God.
Look at her face. Her face is telling you everything you need to know. Just look at her eyes. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into with these people? This is a crazy.
He's like, oh, it's fun, honey. You'll love the show. Drink your beer. Drink up your absinthe. I'm having a beer. Yeah, look at the girls, honey. Come on. She's like, okay.
Just once I would like to see in sort of a co-ed atmosphere like this, with if they went and it was guys doing that basically, and to see the men having to put up with it as much as women have to put up with this stuff.
Not this was obviously they got away with that in 1953. I can't believe that. In 3D.
Hollywood has been decadent for
3D. Look at that. There's ass right in your face. I think Taxi Driver took a few notes on this. It takes her to the porn movie.
Yeah. Oh, and one of them one of them dancers. One of them dancers was Grace Lee Whitney, she was Lieutenant Rand on Star Trek.
That's right.
In fact, I think that's her. I think that's her ass right there.
That might be her butt right there.
So it's her butt right there.
That might be her butt right there. That got her the job on Star Trek.
What do you think about this, Captain Kirk?
We need something for Captain Kirk to spank.
Exactly.
Hey, you're going to be one of our can dancers. Okay, so
before I joined
back at the
Starfleet,
police station, they talked to the police chief again. By the way, Jared has asked her to come to the Wax Museum so she can model for, and he's going to pay her money, which is, that's what she needs right now. So she's living in sin right now at Scott's house, with this mother, chaperoning. Again, she has to go up and get a closer look at what she thinks is Kathy Gray again. And again, Jared wheels out. He must have a hidden camera somewhere because he keeps wheeling out. I'm getting a little tired of this. I know you think it's real, but it's you're being psychotic.
You're getting fingerprints all over my figures.
Stop touching her. You're gonna put a fingernail print and mark in her face.
Yeah.
So, this is where this poor girl. It's just awkward moment after awkward moment after awkward moment in her life. She meets Igor and this other guy. I can't remember his name. I didn't write it down. Let me look him up here. Dabbs Greer. No, that's not it. The Barker. Oh, the hell? He's not even in this list. He's not in the list. What the hell?
Oh, he's got to be.
See all. Let me hit see all. I'm on IMDb.
Wow.
Paul Pacherny is Scott. Do you see him, Patron? No. Frank Ferguson was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Very briefly. He is not in here. Waiter, detective, lodger, corpse and morgue. What the hell?
What's his name Bruce? There's a Philip Tong, Bruce Ellison.
All right, for the sake of the show, let's just call him Bruce. Bruce is an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think that's who's
a pretty good sculptor himself. Until he has a crisis of confidence. I'm sorry, I'm with the old Rich Hall bit about Tom Cruise. All of his movies are the same. Anyway, then he has a crisis of confidence. He meets a girl.
He's a pretty good pilot. Yeah.
Pretty good pilot too. Pretty good car racer too. Love that bit. Anyway, Rich Hall, folks, look him up. He's a great comic. So Henry shows her head. See, we've already started working on your head. That's got to make you feel weird. Oh, how nice. And the police are actually in the Wax Museum. That's Dabbs Greer, by the way, playing the detective on the left with the bowler hat. And they recognize, Burke. Hey, Burke's body was stolen from the morgue, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And then they look at John Wilkes Booth. Hey, John Wilkes Booth looks like that guy. His body was stolen from the morgue too, right? Yeah, that's right. What a coincidence. So they're doing this, and it's like, duh. And they meet this guy, Bruce. And, hey, that guy looks familiar. Was his body stolen from the morgue? No, but he looks familiar. And he recognizes him. or he doesn't really recognize him until later. And then he goes, "Hey, wait a minute! There was an alcoholic guy that was a sculptor, and he was." So they put two and two together eventually. Then they talk to again the guy that funded the wax museum, and he's like, "Well, I respect Henry Jared and his works, and and they're like, okay, we're gonna get nowhere with this guy. Thank you very much, thanks. You're not gonna give us any clues." But they still think that something is amiss. Something is going on in the wax museum. So Henry Jared is with Scott Andrews now, and he's instructing him how to do the writhing man. I'm not sure what this is going to be for, but
Yeah, you have to show more pain and suffering in the mouth.
it's your respect. Gonna get a candy bar. Sorry. Little flashback to Bill Murray and the
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors there.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You are something special. You are something special. So they bring Bruce in, and they're waving the bottle in front of him. Hey, you want a drink? Huh? And he doesn't cave just yet, but he's about to. And Sue is waiting outside the wax museum. She's supposed to meet Scott Andrews, but Scott Andrews has been sent off on some kind of errand, so he's not there. So she pops in to see if he's inside, and Igor locks her in. And Igor's right behind her there amongst the heads. And I really hope I put this next picture in here because I want to talk about this. Yes. All right. Now, unfortunately, we don't see the one at the far left, which looks like Rob Reiner. But the one next to him on the left, does that not John Belushi? Tell me it's not John Belushi.
Yeah.
In the late 1800s, no less. In 1953, no less. He's probably not even born yet.
I thought you were going to make reference to Young Frankenstein. I ain't got nobody.
Well, you just did, and that was funny. That was. And nobody cares. Yeah. It's funny to see that he is, he's going to be a major action star someday. But now, and the guy on the right looks a little like Benny Hill, I thought.
Yeah, he does.
So, yeah. So we've got Igor in between two famous comedians. All right, so now she gets close to, and I think she's looking around now to make sure she doesn't hear any wheels on the floor. And she pulls the wig back, and sure enough, there's blonde hair underneath. It is Kathy. It's Kathy Gray. There's no doubt now in I wanted to say Phyllis, in Sue's mind, that he has killed Kathy. You shouldn't have done that, my dear. That was his line. You shouldn't have done that, my dear. It is Kathy, isn't it? And then she runs, and he gets up out of his wheelchair. He can walk.
I can walk. I can see.
Mein Führer.
It's amazing.
And Igor's in between her, and then she, turns around, and Jared is right there. Henry Jared. Not the scary Jared from the Subway commercials. That the pedophile Jared. No, not that guy. This guy, weird too, though. So as Igor watches, she smashes him in the face because that's what you do when you're being accosted. Heads are cooler without bodies weighing them down. Thank you. That makes sense, I think. And yes, it's a wax face that he has put over his gnarly face. But earlier I called Hazzard in because I wanted her to say about the face what we all say about these faces. I want to get you both to do it during the show. So
A
it's not
face
just
only
me.
a mother could love. Yeah, that's one of our taglines. That's one of our
Did you
notable-
just go on a secret assignment? What the hell?
I told you I got all of these subjects, all of these specimens.
eating,
They're
aren't you?
going crazy. You know, I'm multitasking.
You're eating.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry your pretty little head about it, General. I got them all under control. It's just, you know, sometimes I'm a little indisposed as I'm chasing after these fellas.
Put your lab coat back on. Damn it, we want to see you.
All right. We'll think about it. We'll think about it.
So yeah, that's a face that only a mother could love, with wax
That is a
crumbling
face.
off
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
You like my mohawk?
And later on,
And then she
he,
faints. A lot of
yeah.
fainting women in this movie.
Yeah. Well, this is very much a Phantom of the Opera moment right here.
Yeah. And look at there. We finally see it with a little light on it. Wow.
Yeah, that's a face only a mother could love.
Like Plants versus Zombies, don't I? Wait, that's okay, my dear. I'm glad you passed out because we're gonna lock you down naked in a big wooden box.
In about 20 years, I'm changing my name to Fibes.
You got to put the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
I was
little
going to say
Ted
that in the
Levine
next
there.
scene. I was actually going to say that in the next scene.
Yep,
'Cause that's
there
what
we
he looks
go.
like.
We're coming right to it. Yep,
You beat me to it.
I'm a little quick on the draw. Thank you, Troy
taking
Moore. I
you
love
downstairs,
everything about you.
bitch.
Thank you so much for appreciating me. I appreciate you too.
She beat me to it. She beat me to the punch.
I'm taking you downstairs, bitch. You've caused me a lot of trouble. I'm gonna coat you in wax.
So yes, the next scene we see, he's rolling around under the wax thing, and she's naked in a big pine box. And he's just,
Oh, my Mary Antoinette, you will live again for it. You will live forever.
he's just going on and on and on in that face. So Scott is waiting outside wondering, hey, where is she? What happened? And Bruce is definitely needing a drink. Come on, here, a bottle. So he finally tells him, yeah, he's gonna kill her. He's gonna kill Sue Ellen. She's at the House of Wax. You better go save her now. Oh man.
Yeah.
I needed that. He just gives up everything and drinks his drink. They give him the bottle. So it's like Keystone Cops. They just rush out to the wagon. And haul ass to the Wax Museum. She wakes up. She's scratching, the inside of the box. And, why do you do this to me?
It's something I learned in the Boy Scouts.
That's actually a line that Woody Allen says in Casino Royale anyway. He ties up one of the agents like this, naked with straps over him.
I'm looking at you naked right now, my Mary Antoinette.
God, it's just sick. This guy is sick.
It puts the lotion on its skin and then places it in the basket. Places it in the pine box.
I had to say it too. Sorry. I know I'm a hack. So Scott comes in and he sees Kathy Gray. What the hell are you doing here? I thought you were dead. Oh, wait a minute. He sees that Kathy Gray, her blonde hair and everything, she was right. Uh-oh. So again, let your imagination run wild there.
Troy says, "Why do her feet look like whale fins?" That's an excellent point there, Cadet Moore. I don't have an answer for you.
My Marie Antoinette, I'm gonna make your toes curl.
She's got pretty feet.
He's like,
Oh, what would it be like if your terrible grimace was to show through the wax? I'm gonna have to put a little Mickey in you.
so he goes to get some sleeping syringe, a sleeping syringe. Igor shows up, and basically that's body language for go, get the hell out. Igor's a mute, by the way. He doesn't talk. So poor Charles Bronson, first big role, and he doesn't even get to speak. But he emotes a lot. So they have a big fight, huge fight. And meanwhile,
So
the police are on their way, and Vincent Price is getting his syringe ready. The bubbling wax is getting to the point where it's ready. Sue is terrified, as she would naturally. I mean, look at those neck muscles. Jesus.
What if those neck muscles will show through the wax? Look at those collarbones.
What is Troy saying there?
she can stir the crackers in my soup with those whale fin hooves any day. Yep.
So, yeah, the police are showing up. Actually, Igor gets the jump on Scott, and he's going to put Scott in the guillotine and try to cut his head off because he's just as sick and twisted as his boss, obviously. The wax is making its way, and again, yeah, you're right. Dr. Phibes took a page from this, obviously, for the ending.
Yep.
And of course, that was acid though, instead of hot wax.
Yeah.
I hope you're kinky and you're into hot wax materials. We're going to triple hot wax all over that naked body of yours.
Okay, now I left this open for your imagination right here. Way to put this slide together.
Fill in the blanks there.
That's Phyllis Coates, pretty much naked.
Phyllis Kirk.
Phyllis Kirk. I'm sorry, I said Phyllis Coates. Phyllis Kirk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So again, just as he gets Scott's head in the guillotine, that's when the police show up, and they save him just in the nick of time. Boom. Yes. Henry's going on about something again. He's just talking about his ass. His face kind of looks like an ass. And he hears the police banging around upstairs.
Oh no. Shit.
They're going to ruin
There he
everything.
goes.
Ah, fuck, I can never get a moment. I'm enjoying it so much, damn it. Now you guys show up.
So, yeah, he runs upstairs just as they're busting through the door upstairs. There's a fight. He's actually, for somebody who's been burned up in a fire, he's tossing police left and right. I mean, man, he's like superhuman all of a sudden. Like, what the hell? He's tossing guys over the railing and shit. He's a little too strong for the cripple that we thought he was. The burn victim we thought he was. I think I got to be appropriate here. A lot of wokeness going around.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a nice long shot of the fight. Now he's up at the top, and a policeman just punches the hell out of him, and he goes over the rail. And into the wax. Ah! Plunge.
Yep. Seems like an appropriate end for him.
Yeah. I'll show you an easier way to do that. Instead of going through all those tubes and shit. Let me just dunk you right in there. Now, the police chief has to hustle his ass down there, and he does while the police are fighting with Jared, actually, and get her out of the way before the wax hits her. And he does. He gets the pine box out of the way. And that stuff breaks. Evidently, the wax goes through too fast or something, and it shatters the things. But Sue is out of the way. She's out of harm's way, which is nice. So the police chief does the proper thing and takes his coat off and covers her up, which she really appreciates later, and she says so in his office. They've got her head on the desk there, the wax head. Creepy, awkward. Oh, we thought you might like to have it. No. Don't think so. No, sorry. And they close everything up in a little 1-minute scene here, and Dabs Greer evidently has caught a cold or something. God bless you, detective. And the last thing we see is Charles Bronson's face. This guy's going to be really old when he gets out of Sing Sing. The end. That's the end of the movie. They got the laughing, tying everything up with the little laughing ending there. And that's it. That's House of Wax, 1953, with Vincent Price. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hazzard, are you back?
I think it was, I like the special effects. I like the wax. I like the artistry of it all. I thought it was impeccable. Vincent Price is fantastic. He's so classic. He's so classy and elegant and sophisticated. I can't believe how racy this thing was for this year. I'm really shocked at it,
I'm amazed they got away with it.
Thing,
in 3D, too. They got away with
I can't even believe. How did they do 3D? I would love to have seen it in 3D, by the way. Did it get good reviews?
The first time I saw this, I actually saw it in 3D. I haven't seen it, and that was like, oh my God, the early 70s maybe when they re-released it. And I was a kid, and I haven't seen it in 3D since. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure you can find it in 3D. Again, they did Jaws 3 in 3D, so if you've got the glasses, maybe you have a pair of glasses left over from the movie that you went to a couple weeks ago that was in 3D. I don't know. I don't know how it works now. But yeah, The Creature from the Black Lagoon was another one at the time that was in 3D, although it was black and white. So you got the red glass on one side and the green glass on the other side, and that's all you got. But this one was in full color in 3D. And I don't think that the process really didn't catch on at the time. People were like, no, it's too expensive. It gives me a headache.
Yeah. They keep trying to bring it back every now and again, and it just still hasn't caught on. I mean, the process is a little bit better.
Again, you can see movies there in 3D if you want. I remember seeing one of the Avengers movies in 3D. I think it was the first Avengers movie. So yeah. All right. So next week in the Big Monster Briefing Room, I think we're going to do Horror Express and Mothra. So I hope you guys will tune in for those. And again, Roland's Kaiju Review is coming soon. So keep an eye out for it. And keep an eye out for those big monsters.
This here's Master Sergeant Havoc. Thank you for watching this episode of the Big Monster Briefing Room. Now, why don't you go ahead and give us a like and subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell next time big old giant monster comes calling. See y'all later.